Jest Boks jest sponsorowane przez Blue Mountain Resort w Szklarskiej Porębie i Bino Poland.
Dzisiaj z nami z Vero Beach, Florydy, Gus Curren, były trener Tomasza Adamka, obecny trener Ewy Brodnickiej. Hi Gus, how are you doing?
Everything's good. How are you?
I'm good. Is everything okay in States?
Yeah, everything's the same as Poland. You know, everybody's on lockdown and self-quarantining and trying to stay safe.
Yeah. How would you describe the last fight of Ewa Brodnicka?
Almost perfect. She fought a great fight. She stuck to the game plan. She did everything she needed to do. She was perfect.
You know how it is, Eva have a lot of haters, but now even the commentators during broadcast, they were saying like nice things about you and Ewa Brodnicka. There was some new progress, I think. Why?
She always has a great camp. You know, she always looks great in the gym. I think she struggled with her diet. I think that she's had a wrong plan and she loses too much weight too quick. And I think we finally have that under control. So now you'll get to see the real Ewa Brodnicka. She looked great in the Pusick fight. She looked great in this last fight, and she's showing what she shows in the gym, which is what I want.
Okay. So what do you think about the fight in the States? Mikaela Mayer, right? She would be the toughest test. So
She's
far?
one of the names that's been brought up. Yeah. So, you know, what I'm doing during quarantine is I watch a lot of Mayer, and there's a couple other names out there floating around. So I just kind of go through and watch and study on these girls right now. But tough girl. She's trained by Al Mitchell, who I used to work with. We trained the Chinese Olympic team together. So,
okay.
So I know Mayer pretty well, and it'll be a great fight.
And it will be the toughest fight of Ewa Brodnicka's career?
It'll be a tough fight for sure. Eva's had some tough fights. She's fought some tough girls out there. But, you know, hey, they're all tough. When you're a world champion, everybody's gunning for you. So they're all tough. They're all coming to take your title.
Do you contact Tomasz Adamek?
I talk to Tomas almost every day, every other day.
What did he tell you?
You know Tomas. We talk about everything. When am I going back to Poland, and just everything. You know how Tomas is. A lot of the stuff I can't say on video, but we do. You know Tomas. Tomas is Tomas.
Yeah. How do you remember working with him?
Oh, it was great. It was a great time. You know, anytime, you know, coming up in the gym that I came in, you know, with De La Hoya and Arturo Gatti and Pernell Whitaker and even Floyd Mayweather, all those guys, world champions. When you train a guy like Adamek, it reminds you, oh yeah, hey, this is how champions are. You know, Tomasz Adamek, Brodnicka, Stevie Johnson, the champions I've trained, they all have something special. And it's like I always say, you know, champions are made differently.
How do you remember these camps?
World-class training camps. I mean, we had great camps. You know, remind me of, you know, back when Duva would do his camps at my gym. You know, you had everything you needed. You know, Blue Mountain. You had we couldn't ask for anything more. So we had great camps.
Did you hear that Marcin Najman, the guy from Poland, asked Tomasz to fight even in MMA? Do you heard about it?
You know, I shouldn't say I've always, but people would joke about this. I called him Najman. I don't know how to pronounce his name in Polish, and now I do. But they would joke about him and send me little videos on him, and I never really paid attention. And then when I started hearing about the Tomas thing, I said, well, let me YouTube this guy. Let me just check out what he's like. He looks like, you know, tough guy. And I watched and I said, what is this? So now it's all, it's a comedy act. It's like Tomas Karolik maybe wants to fight Tomas. I don't know, but I don't care if it's MMA, boxing, food fight, a pillow fight. Stay away from Tomas. You don't want that.
Quick job for Tomas.
Listen, the fans, the real fans out there who know anything about fighting, they don't want to see that. It's nonsense.
Okay,
nonsense.
It's nonsense. Okay, so how about, you know, Łukasz Wierzbicki, because he lost his last fight, and now I heard that he's not working with you anymore.
Yeah, no, we're not working together anymore, and it's, you know, it's probably for the best. I think I have all the faith in the world in Luke as a fighter, and I think he probably needed the change, and I hope that the change works out for him. He's got a lot of talent, and I believe he has the ability to make it. It's a very tough division, but I think he needed a change, and I think it was the right choice.
Many people believed in Adam Kownacki, the guy that you know from Osada Śnieżka.
Yeah.
He lost also his last fight. What did you think about fight with Helenius?
Well, I know Adam well. I worked with him briefly before the Szpilka fight out in Poland at Osada Śnieżka. Adam's a great guy, good friend of mine. I also had my heavyweight fight against Helenius, so I know I know a lot about Helenius also. It happens. It's heavyweight boxing. I believe that if Adam makes certain adjustments and does certain things, he'll be right back on top. It's again, the heavyweight division is right now. It's we have a lot of good fighters out there, but Adam is one of those guys. But if he can make certain adjustments, do certain things, he'll be back on top. And he's got the heart of a warrior, so I believe in him.
So what's the biggest thing that he should work on?
Well, he has a lot of things to work on. He has a lot of different things to work on. It's too much to go into detail. Too much. I mean, he has to work on defense. I know I've heard people say, no, Adam has, some people say he has defense and other people say he doesn't. He needs to work on his defense. He needs to work, what all fighters need to work on is you can't fight every fighter the same way, which is what I've found a lot with fighters is they train the same way every fight. You have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy going into who you fight. So you have to work on strategy. You have to work on defense, and you have to work on, I hate to say, to make it sound like this, but how to fight different styles. You have to learn how to fight different styles. You can't just fight the same way all the time.
So how about Szymański? He also lost his fight. What do you make of it?
Patrick, he's making another go. From what I hear, he wants to get back into the ring again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I wish him all the best. Patrick is a great guy. So I wish him all the best and, good luck to him.
So he's not working with you anymore?
No, we talk. I talk to Patrick, maybe once a week we send each other a message. But no, he's got somebody over there in Poland, since I'm here and he's over there. And he wasn't sure. He was a little bit back and forth on whether he was going to make a comeback or not. And either way, I support him.
So you think it's for the money or it's from the heart? And he wants to get back.
Patrick is he's got a fighter's heart. He's got a warrior's. He loves to train. He loves to train, and he has big goals. So it's not for the money. He's out there to do what he can do, make it to the top. And like I said, I wish him all the best.
Okay. So recently, Andrzej Wasilewski made some comments about Adam Balski. And he was talking about training in Florida, actually. How do you remember this camp?
It was a great camp. We had a great camp in Florida. Adam seemed to love it here. He wanted to move here. That's how much he liked it. He liked the camp. Adam and I always had a great camp. When he was here, you got to remember it was, Adamku was training to fight in Chicago. That's why the camp was in America. But his fight wasn't scheduled for later. He was here to learn. He wasn't here training specifically for a fight. He also had an injury to his elbow. So we worked a lot on footwork. We worked a lot on head movement. And we worked a lot on how to fight, teaching him how to fight, like I said earlier. So, camp was great.
Okay.
No complaints, but no complaints from me and no complaints from Adam at that time anyway.
Yeah, at the time, because I remember he was pretty positive about it. I remember every MMA promotion camp was very professional from what I've seen.
Top-notch camp.
And it was crazy to me that now some people say, or he said, that it wasn't a great camp for some reason.
I personally find that hard to believe that Adam said that. And maybe I'm wrong, but and this is not on Adam, but anybody who could say that those camps weren't top notch or first rate, that's a little bit ridiculous. Because I can tell you this, there's, everybody looks at America as the mecca of boxing, and where all the world champions go, and have the big fights, Las Vegas, and all that. But I could tell you, unless you are, a Floyd Mayweather or an Andre Ward, a multi-million-dollar fighter, you're not having training camps like that, or you're not even having training camps set up. You're driving 3 hours to go over here to spar a few rounds, and that's American-style boxing. I mean, to get a good top-notch camp, you have to be a top-notch guy making millions of dollars. So I can tell you, I know a whole lot of fighters here who wish they had this.
What do you think about boxing in Poland in general?
You have a lot of talent. You have a lot of tough fighters. I don't believe that. I believe that there's a mentality in Polish boxing that needs to change. And before I went to Poland, I heard certain things, and it can't be. And then when I got to Poland and being there for 3 years, I realized there's a lot of misconceptions on boxing. Everybody has a strength coach, everybody has a mental coach. Not everybody, but a lot of fight. I've never seen that before, and I think they put too much emphasis on too many other things besides putting the emphasis on the most important thing, and that's learning how to box, learning how to fight. And in the times that I was there, there's not many good trainers. I can tell you that. There's not many good trainers in the States. Boxing, learning how to be a boxing trainer is a lost art. I think you got a lot of guys go on YouTube and go on Instagram and learn how to hold pads. But as far as teaching the boxing goes, I think that's becoming a lost art. And that's what boxing training is. Being a trainer it's an art form. You have to know how to train each individual fighter. I didn't see a whole lot of real technical boxing training going on, and that's not to say there's not any, and there's not to say that there's not trainers out there that are hungry and want to learn. There are a few, but for the most part, I can tell you they train the same way. They have that Eastern European style and no real desire to learn or to change certain things. And without that, then the fighters can't progress, because if you don't have somebody who's really teaching them, the fighters are only going to go so far. And like I said, the mentality of having this guy to do this and this guy to do that, there's too many other things they focus on besides actually learning how to box. If you look at all the great fighters, they didn't have all that. They had boxing training, and they were in great shape to go 15 rounds, 12 rounds. They can fight. I mean, we got guys here in the States that can sit on the couch for 3 months and still get in that ring and go 12 rounds because they're relaxed. And that's the one thing I don't see about boxing in Poland. There's no, everything is very stiff and intense, no relaxing, no learning how to move. The more you relax, the more you see. The more you see, the less you get hit. The less you get hit, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah. Who do you consider the best right now in Poland from current fighters?
You have good fighters, but who I really like, I like Cieślak. I like Cieślak a lot. Cieślak is a tough guy, good fighter, a lot of courage. I had the opportunity to work with him just for a few days, also out of Sadashniska. Cieślak, I can tell you, he has the desire to learn. And this whole misconception of, you don't speak Polish and they don't speak English. I train the Chinese. They don't speak English, and I certainly don't speak Chinese. Cieślak didn't speak much English, from what I remember, and I certainly don't speak Polish. But he has the desire to learn. He's got tremendous heart, and he has a lot of ability. And again, with certain adjustments, doing certain things, I think he could be a top-notch fighter for sure.
So right now people are staying in homes. They maybe watch some old fights. There are some older fights that you recommend?
Old school boxing is the best school of boxing. I'm not going to go way back, but go back and watch Evander Holyfield, Dwight Muhammad Cowie, #1. Watch Riddick Bowe, Evander Holyfield 1, 2, and 3. Watch James Toney versus Vasily Jirov. These are fights. These are real fighters. These guys will, if you're self-quarantining and you want to pick up little things on boxing as a fighter, watch these old fighters. Watch the James Toneys. Watch the Ray Boom Boom Mancinis. Watch Sugar Ray Leonard. Watch Tommy Hearns. You want to learn how to use the left hand? Watch Tommy Hearns versus James Schuler. Fight doesn't last that long, but watch how you set things up with the left hand and then create the power with the right. In boxing, Peter, I will say one last thing. In boxing, you don't just go to the gym for a few hours a day and learn how to box. That's not how you learn boxing. Boxing is a job. Boxing is doing what your trainer says outside of the gym. I send my fighters videos. Hey, watch this. You see what this guy's doing over here? This is how your opponent's going to fight. This is what I want you to do. You watch, you learn. You learn in the gym, obviously, but you have to keep your learning outside of the gym. Watch videos. Watch the great fighters.
It's good advice, I think. It's very good advice to watch other fights. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Poland, stay safe. Stay inside. Let's get through this coronavirus and, take this thing seriously. It's no joke. So stay inside, stay safe, stay in shape. Don't forget, don't just sit on the couch all day long. Get in front of the mirror and shadow box and jump rope, do your push-ups.
Okay.
And we're coming back. Brodnickiej coming back soon. Adamku gonna do his goodbye fight. We'll be back.
Wszystkich fanów boksu zapraszamy na stronę To jest Boks oraz na stronę naszego sponsora Bilopola.